Hey guys, what's going on everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, ladies and gents. Welcome on back to a brand new Blitznews update. And today we're going to be discussing the brand new LEGO DC Comics superhero sets. There are 3 in total that we're going to be taking a look at here today. And that is Superman and the Crypto Team Up, Lex Luthor Mech Takedown, and the Speed Force Freeze Pursuit. So of course, if you don't know, some of these sets have actually been popping up at stores already, which is pretty crazy. But that happens usually anyways, because even though technically from what I understand, these are like 2018 sets, but sometimes stores, because, well, 2018 is right around the corner if you haven't noticed, they basically get shipments a little early, and therefore they start putting out stuff a bit early. So if you're lucky enough, you might be able to actually buy some of these sets already. I don't know why. I only recall like one time, literally one time that has ever happened was for the Lego Batman movie, was that Canada actually received some sets early, which was crazy. I was like, oh my God, I found, and it wasn't even all of them. I remember it was like 2 or 3 sets. But again, if you're lucky enough to find these, let me know down in the comment section below. Share the pictures with me on Twitter or Instagram. It's at Blitzwinger. So with that in mind, ladies and gents, let me also know, please, which of the 3 sets is your personal favorite. I'll let you guys know in just 1 second. And also, I guess we'll talk about the sets themselves a little bit. So let's start with actually my favorite set. So there you go. And that is the Superman and Crypto Team Up. So this is going to be the smallest of the 3 sets that we're discussing here today on this Blitz News update. And I have to say, it is the absolute best in my personal opinion. I really like the fact that we get a nice Superman figure. I think he looks cool, but I'm way more of a big fan, obviously, the fact that we're getting a Crypto figure. I think we have gotten Crypto before in, I don't remember if it was the Lego DC, like, girl superhero line or not. I think it might have been, like, it came with, like, a Supergirl or something like that. I'm not 100% certain. I don't follow that toy line much, so I don't know about it at all. So my apologies about that, but essentially I think we have gotten Crypto before, so that's not a unique minifig. But Lobo, on the other hand, that is fantastically awesome. Super duper stoked about that. The vehicle that Lobo has looks fantastic, which is his like hover motorcycle thing. It's got that really cool skull design on the front, and there's also a pretty cool like trap around Superman that is a brick built component. And to me, it seems like that trap belongs to one Lex Luthor, which is kind of cool because it's almost like the sets are telling a little bit of a story, which is something that I wish they would do more often. Like where they could say, okay, here's set number such and such, set number such and such, and set number such and such. And if you buy all 3, you get a complete diorama or a complete display. So basically it would be like, hey, the most expensive set could be the building, right? But then the middle set might be like a half of some little store or something like that, and then a vehicle. And then the smallest set would be something like this, where it's just a vehicle and a tiny brick built component. But if you put them all together, you get a whole playset. And that's something that I think should be used more often, because I think it's a great idea and it gives you more value, play value, by being a Lego collector. Because then you're like, oh, okay, well, I've bought these 3 new DC superhero sets, and now I've got a whole new scene where Superman is initially trapped by Lex Luthor, but then breaks free thanks to the mistake of Lobo or something like that. And then he takes on Lex Luthor in his mech suit or something along those lines. I just think that would be a really clever idea, and it is something that, in my personal opinion, is a tiny little bit underutilized. Nevertheless, let's move on to set number 2, and that, of course, would be the Lex Luthor Mech Takedown. Now, I'm not going to lie, the set itself actually looks pretty cool, and I think that very easily this could have been my favorite set, just because it's going to be the medium size set, which means that it's not going to be insanely expensive or something like ridiculous like that, hopefully. And it looks pretty good as far as the minifigure selection. Like, I really do like that we're getting Firestorm and Cheetah, because I don't recall getting those characters before. So I think it's really, or these particular iterations of those characters, I should say, before. So I think that that is fantastic. The Lex Luthor looks pretty cool too. Like, his new bodysuit and prints look pretty fantastic. The Batman's decent, same with the Wonder Woman, nothing too exciting there, just like with the Superman in the first set. But what is exciting is, once again, like I said before, are the selections of Cheetah, Firestorm, and Lex Luthor. In my opinion, the thing that kind of stinks about this set is the fact that it's, again, a mech suit for Lex Luthor. I mean, we've gotten that, I think, at least twice before this, and it's kind of like, it's almost like Batman with the Batmobile. It's like, we get it. Like, yes, you do make that as the most obvious choice and the most obvious thing to release, but it's kind of like been there, done that. Like, can we not do something a bit more creative? Like, even if it is a mech suit, why does it always have to be bipedal or like, 2 legs, 2 arms, so on and so forth? Like, why couldn't they do some sort of like spider crawling mech or just like something that exudes a bit more creativity and differentiation compared to previous iterations of that same idea? So let me know if you guys agree, disagree, of course, down in the comments section below. And then last but certainly not least, we have the set known as the Speed Force Freeze Pursuit, which I'm realizing is probably actually going to be a smaller set than the one that I just talked about. So I done goofed, my apologies. But the most exciting component of this set to me personally is the Reverse Flash. Yes, I do think that Killer Frost is awesome as well because, again, remember my complaint about how a lot of DC superhero sets are kind of stuck in only giving us Justice League members, and then every now and again we'd get like Joker, Harley, so on and so forth, or basically it was like the Batman franchise and then some Justice League members. But it was very rare that we would get like characters like Killer Frost or Captain Cold. And they've done much better at that lately, where we've been getting more and more villains and expanding the DC superhero universe way, way wider, which is really cool. But for me, I'm most excited about the Reverse Flash because I really think it looks cool. And of course, he's a pretty fantastic character on the Flash TV show. So if you've seen that, you'd also know about why my excitement for this particular release is quite high. Now, as far as the brick build components for this set, I'm not particularly fond of the Cyborg vehicle. He's included in the set as well. I should have probably addressed that, actually. But again, the Cyborg minifigure does not look any different to me than previous iterations that we've gotten. Maybe the chest print is a tiny little bit different. But the helicopter looks decent. I just think that that's kind of like a weird pick here. Like, okay, well, there's a helicopter. Great. I'm not really sure how it's supposed to play into this other than, yeah, I guess it's a helicopter, which, I mean, look, if you like the design of it, then you're going to say it's great. I personally am not particularly fond of it. I don't think it looks that exciting. I think it's pretty plain looking. So maybe if I get it into my hands and I'm like, oh, okay, it actually has some really cool functionality and engineering and blah, 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 and then I'll actually enjoy it. But the way that it looks, just based on looks, which again, the old saying, don't judge a book based on its cover. But again, that's the only thing we can do for now because they're not out early in Canada, or at least not in my area. And then the Killer Frost vehicle is actually pretty cool. Like, I like that it has a lot of thematic ideas behind, like, being very ice and so on and so forth. And I like how she's got like an ice scraper and everything. So I do like that. I think that that's pretty clever because it kind of works with the character. But it almost reminds me a little bit of Mighty Micros, where it's like, well, you could have done just a shrunken down idea of this vehicle in a Mighty Micro set instead of doing this as a set. You could have come up with something more intriguing, maybe some sort of a ice prison type thing where Flash runs into that and gets trapped in it, or something along those lines, and then Cyborg could have, maybe you could do actually a mech suit for Cyborg, which would have been cool for him to like come rescue the Flash from Reverse Flash and Killer Frost, just something along those lines. Again, that's just my 2 cents and my personal opinion on that. So with all that in mind, ladies and gents, of course, let me know down in the comment section below which is your favorite set. Maybe you just despise all three. Maybe you love all three. Let me know down in the comment section below. Let me know what minifigure you're most looking forward to getting out of all of these sets. And of course, like always, don't forget to smack that like button. I'll catch you lovely folks here next time. Peace out. I'll see you laters, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.